Yeah, he's got a wrist issue, and so we'll see where it's at through the week, and go from there.
Is it something you would place him on IR?
No.
Okay. So is there a possibility you can play them?
Yeah, we'll see where it's at through the week, but I'm not ready to rule him out.
What about TB and T?
Yeah, so TB has a finger dislocation, and so we'll see where that's at through the week. Again, that was, they had to make sure they flushed it out so it didn't get infected. But that's, it's a painful deal, but we'll see where he's at through the week. T's hamstring, again, that popped up in pregame, and it got up to crunch time, and I thought the best decision was to keep him out. So we'll see where he's at this week as well. As we go day to day, we got 2 more days of player day off until Wednesday. We'll see where he's at.
Would you put Boyd at week to week or day to day?
More day to day. Yeah.
Zach, did you know anything about the extent of Trey's injury during the game and the fact that he was able to play with it?
No. Yeah. No, that was impressive. For him to play through that and play effectively for us.
Is Hurst in the potential for this week? Or?
We're going to continue to take that week to week right now. Really figured later in the week he definitely wasn't going to play last game as we got closer to it. And so we'll just see where that's at this week.
Hendrickson wasn't the only one that played through something. Ossai came out and then went back in.
Yeah.
Are those guys okay?
Yeah, we'll see. Ossai is a shoulder. And so really there's a lot of guys that fit the same status right now of we just got to, it's right after a game. We got to get through a couple more days and see how they're feeling as the week goes.
If Ossai isn't able to play and neither is Trey, who is...
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been pretty blessed the last couple of years, but you've seen these guys step up all over the rosters.
Right.
Do you feel like this is kind of just the latest wave of that?
Yeah.
You just got to kind of have those guys serve as inspiration for the next wave?
Well, I think there's a lot of names to be talking about right now of guys on the injury report, but again, it's never as bad as it could be. It's again, no one going on IR, a bunch of guys that we're just gonna have to see where they're at as the week goes. But really came into today feeling pretty positive about where things stand. And it's just that point in the year where it's a physical game, and so you're gonna have a lot of guys like that. I look at all the teams we're playing and have played. It's the same deal going on around the league as you get to this part of the year. But I do feel really good about the depth that we have, and when guys have to step up, it's just we're at the point where we've got a really, really good, 69-man roster where wherever we got to pull from, we can pull from, and these guys are all here at this point for a reason. We believe they can play on Sunday.
Along those lines, how impressed or what did you make of Trent's performance yesterday, their ability to kind of make plays when he needed them?
It's no surprise because they've played a pretty healthy role for us all year, and they know the system. They practice a lot. As guys have been out, they take a lot of those reps, and so they're always ready at a moment's notice to go in there and make a play. And I thought both those guys did that for us yesterday. Trent had a close one that didn't go our way, had a great one there on third down where he had a big play for us, and then Trenton just steps up and makes plays when his number's called as well. So those guys get so many reps with Joe, even in routes on air, group install, that we feel really good about their chemistry with the quarterback.
That stood pat in the offseason with his wide receiver room. Without a lot of production behind the top three.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you kind of have seen the last couple of weeks with guys going down from Trent kind of maybe why you guys decided to kind of maybe stand pat and roll with who you have?
Yeah, it's all about our confidence in those guys to understand what to do and be in the right spot, and that's we place a lot of value in that. And these guys are really smart players. We feel good about the chemistry in the room, and almost as important as anything, the chemistry with the quarterback. And he's got a lot of trust in those guys. And so ultimately, Troy and Brad have done a great job making sure that everyone's ready for any job to be called, any position. And so again, that came to the forefront pregame yesterday where, we had to make some switches and the guys handled it well.
Back in the officer in training camp, you spoke a lot about Jamar's role changing and expanding, and you moved him around a bunch yesterday. Would he have been able to do that last year, and how important has it been?
Yeah. We did that last. As he got more comfortable as the season went on, we did a lot of that. We motioned him and put him in the slot. I'd say we probably do a little more of it now. it'd be hard for me to definitively answer that because I felt like last year we did some of that, and this year we're just doing more of the same. It's been pressed a little bit more because of the injuries that we've had, to where we've needed him to play more spots, and he just handles it really well. So last year I was really impressed how quickly he came in and was able to handle the concepts. They spend so much time walking through on their own with Troy. I mean, they're meeting constantly. Those guys don't play special teams, TB, and Jamar. So Troy really gets that extra time to overemphasize a lot of the reps, and so by the time we get to the practice field, they got it down pat.
How impressive is Jamar's versatility overall?
Well, he's a special player. That's why he's a top 5 pick, and so he's a rare human being that's able to do all this stuff. It's hard to describe him. He's so powerful. I've kind of made this description before. He's powerful like a running back, with his lower body strength and explosion, but he's got rare hands, body control. His contact balance is incredible. What else do you want me to say about him? That's a glowing characteristic. He's pretty dang good.
You mentioned the reverse that he was going to throw it, or threatened, kind of faked throwing it. He was joking about it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Joe Burrow's going to do with the ball in our confidence, but when Jamar does that, like, what goes through your head? You're like, do you not know what? Like, I mean, like.
I think my brain shut off because when the ball was snapped, the play was haywire from the beginning, and so then Jamar just put an extra layer on top of that haywiredness.
Is that what you'll call again? Is that just completely, when the play goes
It's
back-
it's just rare that I feel good about. I feel good about having that one in the toolbox. We've run it before. We've had it in off and on for weeks, and it just didn't go our way yesterday.
But you were genuinely curious what he was going to do with that for a second?
No, I wasn't curious. I was just steal another yard or two back towards the line of scrimmage and get down.
Talking about Troy Walters, I mean, what has made him a good coach and such a good fit in that room, in your opinion?
Jay, he's genuine. He is a tremendous communicator. He's one of the greatest men I've ever been around, on and off the field. And so I think there's just the respect of the confidence he has, speaking from experience, speaking from what he's learned as a coach, and just who he is as a man. Whether it's having Bible study in his office at 7 a.m. every Friday morning, or just he's so grounded that those players have a ton of respect for that. Coaches have a ton of respect for that. And he's just done a great job of leading that room and leading other coaches. And so you just really can't say enough good things about people like that, and to have them. He's great with me. He and I go way back to, 2011. I think we worked together at Texas A&M. Used to eat Chick-fil-A. Me and Clint Kubiak used to go eat Chick-fil-A every Monday. And so, I've known him for a long time. I've known really when he first got into coaching, and just seeing the person that he was, and the impact he had on those young players back at A&M, and then following his career all the way to here. And he's perfect for that role, and perfect for the room that we have right now, and really is doing a great job getting the most out of those guys.
How much do you have to lean on position coaches in a room like that? Like it has been this year. You have stars, you have a lot of other guys that have had to step into roles for you. A lot of different dynamics in there.
Yep.
How much do you personally have to lean on a position coach in a season like this one has been in that room?
Yeah, all the time. I let those guys do their job, and that's about we've got these guys here for a reason, so you want to empower them, and they've never proven me wrong yet. Whether you're talking about Troy or anybody else on the staff, there's always going to be situations that pop up in the rooms that you need those guys to handle. I'm probably not even aware of some of them, just in a given room, because they do a great job keeping some of that stuff off my desk, and I appreciate that. And then there's always things as a head coach you gotta handle as well. But we've just got a great collection of men that do their job, and the players, I think, respect. I can't speak for all the players, but seemingly there's a great deal of respect there, that the communication is going to be direct and honest of what's going on with you as a player, and I think that's appreciated.
Do you have just out of curiosity, do you have any kind of relationship with Mike Leach? I mean, give us
No. No, I don't. I don't even think I've ever met him. I've coached against him many times. Always been a humongous fan. I really don't know the dynamics of the situation. But certainly hoping for the best there because it was always fun. It was always hard, but it was always fun. He was the OC at Oklahoma in 1999 Independence Bowl 7-6. I think they beat Ole Miss. They lost Ole Miss. I can't remember. That was New Year's Eve. And so I remember just watching that. That was when Oklahoma football became really fun that year. And I was a sophomore in high school, and he was the offense coordinator. And then he went to Texas Tech, and so I played against him at Nebraska in 2005. Coached against him 4 times at Texas A&M. Always followed his career everywhere else he's been. Went to Key West one time and was hoping that I'd see him walking down the street, because I knew he hung out there in the summer. But he's made college football really fun. He's a fun follow, fun interview. His teams are always a lot of fun to play against. It's always a high-scoring affair. You always know you're going to play quarters. They're going to play quarters coverage anytime you played against them because he just wanted to keep the points down so he could outscore you. And so obviously hoping for the best in that situation.
What kind of, he was kind of, it was interesting when he came in and what he did coaching-wise and just the way he viewed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of impact you at all as you were growing up and when you went through it?
Not really, because I was never in that tree of football of that air raid system, and I never really spent a great deal of time studying it, to be honest with you. Didn't think I was ever going to be in that tree. Didn't spend my time doing. I never had to coach against him as an offensive coach. That wasn't my job. That was Tim DeRuyter's job. So, but always admired how he got a lot out of those players, and they played fast in that system. And the quarterbacks always, I could name 100 of them that have played for him. That have always just executed really well, and so it's again always been fun to play and coach against.
Looking at Taylor-Britt, his season started, you put him in against Atlanta. Kind of looking back, went into that decision to give him a chance, get his feet wet, and since then has it kind of gone how you hoped it would?
Well, you need all these corners that are on your roster as the season goes, and we knew he's a talented player. He was having a really good training camp before he got hurt. And it was just time to start putting him in there and see what we had, knowing we had a lot of games left, and we're going to need all those guys. And I think he's progressively gotten better. The great thing that he's done off the bat is played tough. He's been physical in the run game. He hasn't shied away from that. So that's been appreciated. And then I think every single game he starts getting more comfortable with the concepts he's seeing and the styles of coverages we're going to play. And Eli's done a great job with him. Chuck's done a great job with him. Mike Hilton, Von Bell, Jesse, all those back-end guys have really encouraged him, and I think done a great job in that room with him as well.
You had several years of facing Brady twice a year. I know it wasn't your side of the ball back then, but what stood out?
How fast he plays. It's a coach on the field, so as a quarterback coach, you could see when they get into a formation, you're like, oh no, because you can see sometimes the matchups that have been created and why he's utilizing them, him or the coach, or however you want to phrase it. But, so I just remember when they had great tight ends in New England and you'd see a set and all of a sudden those tight ends are out wide and you'd see the coverage we got stuck in. It's like, oh man, this is not going to be great. And then they're on the ball getting the next snap and you're like, oh no. So he's just, one of the greatest to ever do it. Anybody who's won that many championships and played that many, he can always pull it out. And the game's never over with him. I think that's what they've proven this year, oftentimes, because they've been on some primetime games that you just happen to be watching on TV, whatever. I don't even know what days they were, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, whatever it is. You've caught them on TV quite a bit, and it seems like every time they're on, they've found a way to win. And that's due in large part because they got a great coaching staff, great players, but it's also because he's the quarterback, and in those moments is when he shines brightest. And so we got a tough challenge ahead of ourselves.
I guess he would have been mid-30s when you were facing him in the late 30s. Is it mind-boggling that he's still playing at this level?
I mean, he's consistently done it forever. And so I think the mind-boggling's out the window at this point, and it's really impressive to see what he's done.
You guys announced Joe Burrow's going to be on the Manning cast. You're going to watch tonight, take a few minutes.
That's the first I heard of that. So,
Zach's not running social media.
yeah.